are other sides to Christmas, and today comes a new report on the plight of those who won't be having such a good time. So we're going over to Alan Hargreaves at the Euston studio. Alan.
The report is called I Dread to Think About Christmas. It's written by Sheila Cliff and Frank Field of the Child Poverty Action Group. And not only does the report talk about children who can't go to school because they haven't got enough clothing, but pinpoints lack of fuel as a major problem, as well as food, of course. For many families, roast turkey is just a pipe dream. Well, Frank Field is with me now. First of all, Frank, how did you choose the families on who you based the survey?
Well, we've been in touch with two organisations, our own, and a group called the Family Service Units, who work at a grassroots level with families around the country. And we built up 100, and we don't claim that this is representative of all poor families. There's much to show that the families are probably above those who are at the very bottom.
Well, now, what is poor in your terms? I mean, what's the basic weekly money coming in?
Well, we've used throughout the report the government's own definition of poverty. Each year, Parliament approves a minimum level for people who are unable to work. And if we put that in daily terms, it means 51p for a mother to cover all the needs of a child under 5, cover everything except the contribution towards the rent.
Well,
so when we're talking about poverty, we're really talking at people at the very bottom.
How much below, then, the normal level, the government level, were these people?
Oh, these families were around, and some were actually below that level.
And what are they having to, I mean, what are the main reasons for the children not going to school? Is it lack of clothing? Is it lack of food? Is it lack of transport money? What is it?
Well, it's a combination of these, and I think this is, in a sense, it for the first time shows how poverty now doesn't just destroy families, but is actually affecting the chances of young children. It's the first report that we've done where we've come up clearly that poverty now stops children from benefiting from what is supposed to be a free system of state education. For many of these kids, if they're going to get out of poverty, schools is the way, and many of them now aren't turning up.
But it does seem to be, Frank, forgive me for saying so, the same old story year after year. We sit here each year talking about this because another report comes out. Is it getting bad, or is it just generally bad throughout the country?
One correction to that, Alan, it's actually not the same old story, it's actually getting worse.
Now, what do you want to see done?
Well, there are two things which stand out very clearly from the report. One is these families want a chance to swim with the rest of us, and to do that, one needs to get back to full employment. That, you know, a few years ago, people wouldn't have thought that was impossible.
And the second thing?
And the second thing is that even when people do work, there's a lot of problems with low wages. We must have a generous system of child benefits.
Frank, thank you very much indeed.